Hi! I feel like this video should be called Expectations versus Reality. If you've been watching my channel since 2011, you might remember how I made a video called 30 before 30. I made a list with lots of things I wanted to do before I turned 30. At that point, I was 22, so I had so much time left. And now I have a year and a half left. Where the hell did time go? I also made an update video 3 years later, but I figured since I only have a year and a half left, it was time to take a look at the list. I couldn't even find the list on my laptop anymore, so I had to watch the video and type it out again. I went through, marked all the stuff that I still want to do, the stuff that I managed to complete, and the things that I don't really care about anymore. So if you're a list and a goals lover, this is your video. Out of the 30, I managed to do 7. There are 14 that I still want to do, and 9 that I've crossed off the list. I'm not going to go through all the stuff I'm no longer interested in, but I will talk you through the stuff I still want to do and the things I have done. So, things I have done. Live in a foreign country by myself for more than 6 months. Check. I'm on 5 years now. This was done at a time where I had no intentions of moving to London. I knew nothing about where I might want to live in the future, so that's really cool. Kiss someone in the rain. Check. That's the only like romantic stuff I've put on the list because I thought it was really fun. Hold a book in my hands that I've personally contributed to. I've now been mentioned in the acknowledgements of a couple of books. My name is in The Fault in Our Stars, which doesn't quite count, but is really lovely. But I was also interviewed for a book by Rosalind Jana, and I'm in that, so that is really cool. Definitely ace that. Finally finished the 50 book challenge. Yep, I've done that a couple of years now. Visit the cafe where J.K. Rowling wrote Harry Potter. I went on a trip with Marion. There's a full video which I'll link in the description, but yes, I did get to visit that. Knit something. I did lots and lots of different patterns, but the full thing that I finished is like a mug warmer. Finally, visit a impressive Austen related location in England. I went to Stourhead with Marion, and I've visited some other sort of literary and Austen related locations as well. Now onto the things I still want to do. I don't know if I'll be able to complete all of these, but I like keeping them on the list. Visit the Grand Canyon. Yes, I really want to do that. Visit Loch Ness. I think that one seems achievable. Read all of Jane Austen's works and all of Shakespeare's works. I don't want to cross it off the list. I don't know if I'll be able to make it, but I'm gonna make an effort. Meet or see J.K. Rowling. This has been like a lifelong wish, so maybe one day. See the Northern Lights. Trip to Iceland, maybe. Fill an entire journal. I am not a massive writer, but I do a lot of writing for my job, so I should probably do some more writing in my free time, especially now that I've launched a blog as well. So that will be practice, but maybe one day I'll fill a journal. I'm so jealous when people make videos and talk about like certain situations in their life and they have a journal to look back on. I have YouTube, but obviously you can only be so personal in public videos, so I should really be writing stuff down for the future. Learn all the American presidents in the right order and learn all the countries of the world and all the American states. It is really fun. I want to be able to do that. I think it is just quite a cool party trick, I guess. Watch all the movies on the 100 best movies list. The 100 movies, I had 2 different lists, which I haven't seen in years. Don't even know where they are. So I might compile a new list and go from there, because I'm terrible at watching like the classics, and I do want to watch a couple more. I think this was on one of those lists. I watched Alien yesterday, so I'm crossing that one off. Dress up Jane Austen style. This has been a dream of mine for the longest time, and Lex recently did a video where she like bought a Regency dress and a bonnet and filmed some videos in the countryside, and maybe next summer. I would love to do that. Although when I made this list, my accent was still British, and now it's American. I'm gonna have to do some work. Ride a horse, yes. Could potentially combine this with going to the US, visiting the Grand Canyon, or somewhere else in the countryside. And then finally, learn sign language. I don't think I'll be able to do that fluently, but I'd love to learn at least some basic signs and take an archery course. I just want to be badass. I think it'll be really fun. Off the list of things that I'm no longer interested in, some examples are like learning how to juggle, solving a Rubik's Cube, just kind of skills that now I think I don't want that taking up my time. I want to be doing other stuff with my time. There's also things like spending New Year's Eve in Times Square. My brother did that a couple of years ago. Don't think it's my jam. And a lot of the stuff is like sleep under the stars and watch the sunset and the sunrise. And I feel like on my trips, I see beautiful things in nature. I don't really want to go and specifically search out one specific moment. If it happens, it happens. So that is a little overview of the list. What I found really interesting is sort of thinking about the things that I would have put on this list if I knew that they were happening, or if I knew that there was something I could aim for. So there's so many things that I've done that I think are awesome that definitely fit on this list, but that, you know, when I was 22, either I just didn't think of or I didn't think could happen. So I've made a little list of that as well. First of all, launching a product with Polly, my own pin, which is extremely exciting and like one of those things I've been thinking about for the last couple of years, but definitely not something I had in mind when I was 22. I actually spent last New Year's Eve in a cottage in the west of Ireland with friends, which was amazing. We were like on a pier with sparklers at midnight, which is lovely. I also went to Northern Ireland and saw the Giant's Causeway, which is like this gorgeous natural rock formation. Beautiful, beautiful place. I've met and interviewed some of my favorite authors. Again, 22-year-old me in my bedroom in the Netherlands probably didn't think about that happening. I got my YouTube silver play button for reaching 100,000 subscribers. I'm working at Penguin, the book publisher. Again, that was something that when I just moved to London, I applied for so many jobs there and I just thought it wasn't gonna happen. I visited 2 Scandinavian countries in the last couple of years, which is really cool. And I finally managed to go on a girls' trip with my London friends to Greece. When you're sort of sitting down and thinking back to what you've done and trying to make a list of the accomplishments, it's funny because there's a lot of big things that are really cool, but then there's also a lot of little things that just mean a lot to you or that you have really, really fond memories of. I find it really funny that little skill and experience related things dropped off the list, and now I think it's more travel and personal projects that I have on the list because that is sort of what drives me and what I want to do more of. And of course, if they don't happen before I'm 30, is no big deal. But it's nice to sort of, you know, keep yourself in check and try and do more cool stuff. So when I asked you on Twitter if you had ever set any age-specific goals, I got some really interesting answers. Gemma Tomlinson, who you might know because she has a YouTube channel and a blog, said, I don't think I had set goals, but I know what I imagined my best life would look like in my 30s, and it is not what my best life is now. I think I had much more monetary goals. House, nice car, good job, and my definition of success has drastically changed now. Amy Gary 17 said, not really. On the flip side, I always said I didn't want to get married before 30. 29.5 now? And I think I'm gonna make it. And then Lily Pie in the Sky said, I never wanted to travel, but I have now been to 17 countries and lived abroad twice. Priorities change with time and experience. Which obviously very true. And I guess now is the scary time where I have to come up with some new goals to fill out the list because I'd love to replace the ones that I'm no longer interested in. Rosianna recently made a video where she watched a video she made 5 years ago talking to her future self and then setting some new goals. So I've added a couple in, but I'm gonna think about the other ones. Let me know if you have any suggestions. I would love to have my podcast running and for it to be successful, whatever that may mean. I would love to stay or live in Amsterdam for at least 3 weeks. I would love to visit 3 completely new to me places or cities in the Netherlands. Hilariously, the goals have now switched around. And I would really like to be drawing on a regular basis. The more I do YouTube, the more I miss doing all the crafty stuff that I did at first before I did YouTube, and I want to do more combining of drawing and online and see how they can mix together. Alright, that was a whole lot of talking, but I really enjoyed sitting down and typing all of this out and sort of checking to see how I was doing. Not too bad, but there's more to be done, more adventures to be had. I would love to hear in the comments if you've ever made a list like this and how you're doing, or if you absolutely would never want to make a list like this. Also, I can't even begin to think what my list of things to do before I'm 40 looks like, because that seems so incredibly far off. I mean, that is further away from my age now than when I started my YouTube channel, so it's quite a while away. Thanks so much for watching. Doei!